In a world where human intervention has redefined the natural balance, a method of cultivation emerges that seeks to rediscover and realign with the forgotten truths of nature. Natural agriculture, rooted in both spirituality and the practice of non-intervention, invites us on a mystical journey back to simplicity and harmony. This ancient path, revitalized by the wise Mokichi Okada and Masanobu Fukuoka, offers more than just food. It proposes a spiritual purification and an ecological rebirth. But how can stillness and observation replace the plow and chemicals? And what do these ancient secrets reveal about our lost connection with the living world around us? Get ready to unravel the mysticism and science behind natural agriculture, where every cultivated plant is a step toward reconciliation with our planet. But after all, what is natural agriculture? Natural agriculture is a cultivation method that deeply relies on the principle of respect and integration with natural systems. This method seeks not only to avoid the use of synthetic chemical inputs, such as pesticides and fertilizers, but also emphasizes minimizing any form of intervention that disrupts natural processes and existing biodiversity. Unlike conventional agriculture, which often modifies and controls the environment to meet specific agricultural production needs, natural agriculture aims to adapt its practices to the laws and rhythms of nature. Natural agriculture is not just an agricultural technique. It is a philosophy that integrates respect for the land and life in all its forms. This approach is based on the idea that nature possesses intrinsic wisdom and a self-regulating capacity that, when undisturbed, results in a healthy and resilient ecosystem. Therefore, instead of imposing artificial conditions, practitioners of natural agriculture observe and learn from nature, seeking to understand how they can collaborate with natural processes rather than oppose them. Although natural agriculture shares some principles with organic agriculture, such as the prohibition of synthetic agrochemicals, it goes further in seeking complete symbiosis with the natural environment. Organic agriculture may still involve practices like crop rotation, biological pest control, and organic fertilization, which are ways to optimize production within a more sustainable paradigm. However, natural agriculture distinguishes itself by its commitment to not disturb the soil, no tilling, and other practices that are fundamentally passive and based on non-action. Natural agriculture has significant implications for sustainability. By reducing the dependence on external inputs and promoting practices that maintain soil health and biodiversity, this method can help mitigate various environmental issues faced by modern agriculture, such as soil erosion, water pollution, and species loss. Additionally, by promoting an agricultural system that is truly integrated with the local environment, natural agriculture can play a crucial role in conserving natural ecosystems, serving both food production and ecological health maintenance. What is the origin of natural agriculture? The origin of natural agriculture, as we know it today, can be attributed to significant developments in Japan during the 20th century, driven by pioneering figures like Mokichi Okada and Masanobu Fukuoka. Each of these individuals brought a unique and profound perspective to agricultural practice, emphasizing harmony with natural processes and minimizing human intervention in food cultivation. Mokichi Okada, who lived from 1882 to 1955, was a spiritual leader and philosopher who began his approach to natural agriculture in the 1930s as an integral part of a broader philosophy aimed at spiritual and physical purification. Founder of the World Messianic Church, Okada advocated for a purer and less materialistic relationship with the natural world. He believed that the spiritual and physical health of people was directly linked to the quality and purity of the food they consumed, which in turn was connected to the purity of the soil and cultivation techniques. Okada promoted a form of agriculture that completely excluded the use of chemicals and encouraged practices that naturally regenerated and purified the soil. He also introduced concepts such as the use of food as part of spiritual and physical healing, an idea that remains influential in various modern agricultural and dietary practices. On the other hand, Masanobu Fukuoka, who lived from 1913 to 2008, was a farmer and microbiologist who developed a philosophy of agriculture based on the direct observation of natural ecosystems. After a career as an agricultural scientist, Fukuoka returned to his family farm and began to question the conventional agricultural practices that had become common in post-war Japan. In the 1940s, Fukuoka began implementing and perfecting a farming system that avoided any form of plowing, pruning, or the use of herbicides and pesticides. His techniques, which also included direct seeding in undisturbed fields, aimed to create an agricultural system that functioned according to the natural principles of the local flora and fauna. His work culminated in the publication of the One Straw Revolution in the 1970s, which not only described his agricultural techniques, but also presented a philosophical critique of human impact on nature. If you want to purchase this publication, I will leave the link in the first pinned comment for easier access. Together, Okada and Fukuoka laid the foundations of what would become known as natural agriculture. While Okada focused on spiritual connection and purity, Fukuoka emphasized the simplification of agricultural practices and respect for natural processes. Both approaches criticized industrial agricultural practices and sought methods that were sustainable, ecologically sound, and in harmony with the environment. Their legacies continue to influence agricultural practices worldwide, promoting a reconsideration of how food is grown and how agricultural practices can coexist more harmoniously with nature. Now let's explore the principles of natural agriculture. Natural agriculture is based on principles that aim to create a balance between agricultural practices and the natural environment. These principles not only guide the specific techniques used in the field, but also reflect a deeper philosophy about the relationship between humans and nature. The first principle of natural agriculture is no plowing or tilling the soil. This central principle of natural agriculture is based on the idea that disturbing the soil through plowing or similar techniques can destroy its structure, disrupt beneficial microorganisms, and negatively affect natural aeration and drainage processes. Keeping the soil intact helps preserve underground biodiversity, including fungi, bacteria, and invertebrates, which play critical roles in the decomposition of organic matter, nutrient cycling, and the formation of healthy soil. The second principle is no use of chemical fertilizers or prepared composts. Natural agriculture promotes the use of locally available organic resources, such as fallen leaves, crop residues, and untreated animal manure. This not only reduces dependence on external inputs, but also increases soil fertility in a way that mimics the natural nutrient cycles found in wild ecosystems. In the long term, this practice supports land sustainability and plant health. The third principle of natural agriculture is no use of herbicides and pesticides. Instead of using herbicides and pesticides, this approach relies on biodiversity as a natural means of pest and disease control. Mixed crops, the presence of natural predators, and the maintenance of healthy habitats help create an ecological balance that can significantly reduce the need for chemical interventions. The fourth principle is soil purification and revitalization. Considering the soil as a living organism, natural agriculture adopts practices aimed at its purification and revitalization. This may include crop rotation, planting soil-enriching species such as legumes, and applying natural preparations that stimulate biological activity and improve soil structure. This principle reflects the view that caring for the soil is fundamental to the health of the entire ecosystem. The fifth principle is cultivation in harmony with nature. This principle guides farmers to work in alignment with natural cycles and local climatic conditions. This includes understanding and respecting plant growth periods, weather patterns, and the ecological processes of the area. The idea is to reduce human impact and allow nature to guide the development and health of the crops. The sixth principle is the spiritual view of agriculture. Natural agriculture also incorporates a spiritual dimension, seeing farming as a way of connecting with the divine and a practice that can contribute to the spiritual and physical purification of individuals and society. This spiritual view emphasizes the importance of respecting the land as a sacred entity and recognizing the interconnection between all forms of life. When implemented, these principles not only provide a foundation for sustainable agricultural practices, but also promote a deeper and more respectful relationship between humans and the environment, fostering agriculture that is both environmentally and spiritually sustainable. After all these principles of natural agriculture, what would be the practices of natural agriculture? The practices of natural agriculture are designed to work closely with natural cycles and promote an agricultural ecosystem that is sustainable and productive while minimizing environmental impact. Here are some practices of natural agriculture. Cover cropping. The use of cover crops is a fundamental technique in natural agriculture to protect and enrich the soil. These plants help prevent erosion, suppress weed growth, improve soil structure, and increase its ability to retain water and nutrients. Plants such as legumes, grasses, and other fast-growing species are commonly used for cover as they can fix nitrogen in the soil, an essential nutrient for plant growth. Additionally, the roots of these plants help create channels in the soil that facilitate water infiltration and the development of the root system of main crops. Polyculture. The practice of polyculture involves cultivating various plant species simultaneously in the same space. This crop diversity not only mimics the biodiversity found in natural ecosystems, but also helps reduce the incidence of pests and diseases, as specific pathogens of one plant find it difficult to spread in a diverse environment. Polyculture can also improve nutrient use efficiency, as different plants utilize and enrich the soil in complementary ways. A practice of natural agriculture is also integration with the natural environment. In this practice, cultivation is adapted to fit local conditions rather than attempting to significantly alter the environment. This can include selecting crops that are naturally adapted to the local climate, soil, and water conditions, as well as adjusting planting cycles to the seasons and weather patterns. The goal is to create an agricultural system that is resilient and capable of sustaining itself with minimal intervention. Another practice in natural agriculture is the use of effective microorganisms (EM). Effective microorganisms are mixtures of beneficial, natural microorganisms that are applied to soil and plants. These microorganisms can help decompose organic matter, fix nitrogen, suppress diseases, and promote a healthier root environment. The use of EM is seen as a way to increase soil microbial biodiversity, which is crucial for maintaining soil health and plant growth. The last practice we highlight here is avoiding the use of animal manure in compost. Although many forms of organic agriculture use animal manure as a key component of compost, natural agriculture sometimes avoids its use due to concerns about nitrate contamination, insect attraction, and parasite proliferation. Instead, composts made exclusively of plant matter and other natural additives are preferred to maintain the quality and purity of soil and water. These practices reflect a holistic and respectful approach to food cultivation, seeking not only agricultural sustainability, but also the well-being of the broader ecosystem. By adopting these methods, natural agriculture farmers aspire to create agricultural systems that are truly sustainable in the long term, promoting the health of soil, plants, animals, and humans. As the veil of mystery lifts, the distinctions between natural agriculture and conventional organic farming become clear and deeply significant. While both forms reject synthetic agrochemicals in favor of a greener planet, natural agriculture takes it a step further, fully embracing the concept of non-intervention and its spiritual connection to the earth. Instead of merely adjusting conventional methods to minimize harm, this method suggests a sacred partnership with nature, one that listens attentively and responds to the intrinsic wisdom of the natural world. This is not just a method of cultivation, but a meditative practice, an act of faith in the self-sufficiency and resilience of the natural environment. By adopting natural agriculture, we are not just choosing a sustainable alternative. We are participating in a spiritual practice that realigns us with the cosmos. I encourage each of you to consider this enlightened path not merely as an agricultural technique, but as a movement toward a more conscious and connected existence. Natural agriculture, with its gentle non-intervention, not only sows seeds in the soil, but also sows the hope of a spiritual and environmental rebirth. Together, as we embrace these principles, we can begin to heal our planet and our spirits, cultivating a future where humanity and nature exist in true symbiosis. See you soon, and let's move towards a bountiful Earth.